Folks, we're back. This is our second show of the night. This is Steve Sanson, Stephanie Phillips with another episode of Veterans in Politics. And today we have Nikki Glickman. She's going to be discussing the corrupt attorneys that stay in the family court system. So this is going to be an interesting show. All you attorneys, I hope you start running. Especially the ones that work for pro bono and get pro bono hours, but yet bill opposing litigants for time. Pro bono my butthole. Anyways.
Oh my gosh.
Miss Phillips.
Speaking of family court.
Well, family court is one of the true and dare subject matters to my heart is family court.
I know, and it's not only corrupt attorneys, it's judges too. True. And family court is tough, There's some bad ones in there. But anyway, speaking of family court, guys, you all know that Steve wrote this book, How to Navigate Nevada's Family Court System. You can get your copy on Amazon. It's $14.99. And for all those litigants who are in family court and you cannot afford an attorney, you don't have one, this is a self-help book. It will help you navigate your way through that. So pick up a copy. Also, check out our merch store. It's VIPImerch.com. We have all kinds of items on there that you will like. So jump on there. And also, if you have a business, a nonprofit, or you are a candidate and you want to advertise on our show, we've got spots available and they would be the size of a yard sign. So get in touch with us on that. And also, we're going to be putting out some more information about the Valentine's Ball that's coming up February 7th of 26. I know it sounds really far away, but we're in the planning stages. We're going to have early bird tickets on sale pretty soon, and you will save quite a bit of money by getting your ticket early, and we are super excited about this one coming up. But speaking of family court, we could rant about that, I think, every single show. Mm-hmm. And what really bugs me, and I have talked about this before, are the parents, the ones who do not pay child support. And I know we'll talk about this issue, but you need to pay your child support, and these judges, they need to enforce the orders that they put out there for these litigants to pay child support. If they don't enforce the orders, what good are they? And there are people out there that are owed hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some of these family court judges just sit on their hands, don't enforce it. There's no consequences for these people that don't pay child support, and it's going on year after year after year after year. So a lot of changes need to happen, and we'll get into that with your case.
Are you done, Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Ms. Glickman.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Have you been on the program before?
I have not, just watched.
Have you got one of those books?
I have not yet.
That's 2 no's. Does not go for 3. Ooh.
3 strikes I'm out.
But she has a great attorney, though.
Oh.
I do.
Tell us about yourself, Ms. Glickman.
My name is Nikki Glickman. I have lived here in Vegas now, I think, for about 7 years. And
from?
San Antonio, Texas, originally.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. I'm a mom.
Okay.
And
Gold Star?
He's just little still.
Okay.
Well, I have 2 older boys too. I adopted 2 boys. They're now 18 and 15.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then I started all over a COVID baby, and so yeah, he's 3, and that's kind of what landed me in meeting you fine people.
Mm-hmm.
Please continue.
So I was married to a doctor here in town and a neurosurgeon. So he did
one of those expensive kinds too.
Uh-huh.
He does brain and spine.
Ooh,
and
you see the bill on those? Oh my goodness. Please continue.
He unfortunately was asked by the Valley Health System he had his privileges suspended, and they just asked him that we will reinstate him if you promise to resign. So he left, and he is now.
What did he do?
I don't.
Did he sit on one of those boards and take?
I know there's multiple lawsuits, and
oh wow.
Yeah, I mean,
are those public?
That's how I found out about them. Yeah.
Okay, so we could look them up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And plus, he's probably bonded. He got to have some type of really good insurance that's covering him.
One of them, he didn't have any insurance.
Oh, stop that. That's not very smart.
And he didn't respond to any of the hearings or whatnot. So who knows? But he's in Florida now, and he's kind of homeless, is what he states. He bounced.
Neurosurgeon. Homeless in Florida.
Homeless, and he doesn't make money, right?
He says he
Homeless
makes
and
no personal income.
So he makes it under the table then.
I'm hoping that we get to ask him. But he has had limited contact with our son. He was violent. Domestic violence was involved in this with my older boys and me. And since then, it was a short marriage, about a year, and one child, and the divorce has taken forever.
How long has it been?
I think we're at the 2-year mark.
Ooh.
Yeah, we just got our custody judgment.
So why don't you take care of the divorce and then go into the property and custody and all that later?
I've followed my attorney's great advice, but yeah. But we got through the custody part. They have filed an appeal,
so you're still
but I'm
married
confident. I am married.
Oh boy!
But you just recently switched attorneys.
I did.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what happened? What happened there?
I really did think that I had an attorney, and she worked, and it was a very.
What's her name?
Patricia Vaccarino.
Okay.
It was a very chaotic, relationship, I think.
How so?
I didn't get any regular invoices. And through it all, she just kept saying, I'm going to overcharge you. I'm going to claim that you owe me more money, so that way we get more money from the pot. And at the end, I'll give you a huge discount.
That's illegal.
And
okay, attorney, that's illegal.
And I have them in text messages where it was, I'll give you a huge discount, and I won't charge you interest. But meanwhile, I'm getting liens filed against me, forced to file sign documents right before court that were just not in my best interest.
Did you report her to the bar?
I have not yet.
What are you waiting for?
So she's filing liens against your home and things because of this money?
Correct.
That you owe her, supposedly, that she didn't bill you for until all at once?
Well, and the latest documents, the ones that we responded to, protesting her bill, claim she never told the judge that she'd already been paid $135,000, I believe. Estimate.
What's this attorney's name?
Patricia Vaccarino. So
how do you spell that? The last name?
Vaccarino.
Spell that again.
Okay.
Vaccarino, I believe. So she's been paid over $100,000, and she's requesting $268,000. While I have received, and right when we got up to about half of the money that was in the pot, she withdrew.
How much is she charging you?
$268,000, I believe.
Hollywood client?
I wish I was.
And she was your attorney for how long?
For the majority of the case, right before the judgment came out, she withdrew.
So almost 2 years?
Correct.
And you've had your new attorney for what, a month?
I have.
And he's doing great. He's
great, and the stress level is down to, I constantly was feeling kind of bullied, and just, it's very emotional when you're going through family court.
Yeah.
And I will say that Tim has brought an air of calmness.
Tim
and Treffinger
is now your attorney.
He is.
Okay.
Yeah. Very calm gentleman, very knowledgeable, and I'm very happy and confident. So.
You have a hearing coming up. Do you?
I do.
Mm-hmm. And what is that supposed to cover or entail?
It might have changed since the last time, since her judgment did come out. I think it cleared up some of the things that were going on. At one point, my co-parent had, during a visit, was supposed to bring my son back to, my home. He picked him up for a 36-hour visit and took him to Arizona and demanded that I drive to Scottsdale and pick him up. while we all were ill with the flu on New Year's Eve.
And he didn't have permission to take him across state lines,
No.
I assume.
And so at one point people said, or he threatened to fly him to Florida. I could pick him up Sunday by 9 o'clock in Arizona, or I could pick him up Monday in Florida. As a mama, if somebody says, come pick up your kid, I don't care how far I have to go, I'm there. So I got in the car and we drove straight to Scottsdale.
Did you call the cops?
I did not. We filed abduction charges. Since then, we've had the custody ruling, and it really buttoned up a lot of ambiguity, and there's no wiggle room. She laid out her ruling and laid out the law, and it's very clear, and I think it cleared up a lot of confusion.
Who's your judge?
Mare Parlate.
Mm-hmm.
From the beginning?
From the very beginning. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
How long you been fighting for custody now?
oh my goodness. About 2 years. I've been put through the ringer. At one point, paternity tests were even demanded.
Oh my gosh. But you have full custody. Does he just have visitation?
I have primary,
Mm-hmm.
and we have joint legal, but since the judgment came down and it wasn't exactly, I believe, what he wanted, he's not visited once. He's not made one visit.
Tell us about these corrupt attorneys.
Where would you like me to start?
From the beginning.
I don't know if it's necessarily, I've thought about this a lot, necessarily corruption as much as it's what the standard is here in Clark County. It's where we've set the bar and where we've allowed it to go. I've heard that in the good old days, they would look at the pot. What were these families fighting for? They'd figure out exactly what they were going to get. And when that money was dried up,
So they look at your
magically they'd
financial
settle.
reports.
I believe so.
And they figure out what you're worth to them and how much they could extort from you. And then once that's over with, then they just send you out to the wolves, so to speak, to find another attorney.
That's the way it feels. Absolutely, yeah.
And Patricia is one of them. Do you have any other attorneys that fit this bill?
I don't. Not that I can really think of. That's been, my ex had gone through about 5 attorneys. They'd fire him. He went through. So a part of me, I think the reason why I held on so long with Patricia was I wanted to show stability and consistency and, see it all the way through. But
you have a lot of experience with the court system, with attorneys, because you're an adoptive parent and also you fostered children.
Mm-hmm.
So you've seen a lot of things that most people don't.
I felt comfortable and confident in the court system. I've seen it work. I've been on, as an advocate side, I really felt comfortable and confident in family court. And it's been shaken. It truly has been shaken. And I feel blessed that I have resources and that I have a tribe. I have the best support system a girl could ask for. I can't imagine what parents, mothers and fathers do if they don't have the resources or the ability to navigate this. I can't imagine what it would feel like.
So could you take us through the conversations that you had with Vaccarino, the Patricia L. Vaccarino, family law attorney. Could you take us through the conversations you had with her?
We were, I thought, friends. Genuinely, we were friends. And I think that's why it's so hurtful. Is I thought she cared. I thought that she had my best interest and my son's best interest at heart. And after I didn't really know what a divorce should cost, and I did. I had to go interview and talk to other attorneys because I was left with no one, and still had the financial part of my divorce isn't finished, so I knew I needed somebody. And every time I would mention, this is what she's asking for, $260,000, their mouths would drop. They were like, one attorney said that his largest bill was about $50,000 for a 2-year divorce. And
with that kind of bill, you would think you would be in court twice a week.
You know, you would
Since
think
the
that you'd
beginning.
have maybe a decision too. You know,
right.
in her fight for these fees, she claimed that she had fought and for a great judgment and that she was effective. We haven't even gotten the final financial judgment left yet.
Well, apparently he won't release financials, or says he doesn't have the finances, doesn't, want to pay child support.
Yeah.
And these things is possibly hiding money or income or
Which
something.
is another caveat to something else that really bugs me is through this, his attorney is Melvin Grimes. And
Greasy.
the
Melvin
frustration I have, I didn't know that officers of the court could get up and flat out lie.
They do it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Call me naive, but it
I
got,
always thought it was contempt of court or perjury, or fraud in the court, but they do it all the time.
or helping somebody hurt a child. This is not money that's coming out of my mouth. This is how do you create a beautiful little boy and not want to financially support him at all? And to have another man that is willing to lie for him and help him perpetuate all of this to the court is astonishing to me. He's lied about, there were videos of domestic violence, and he looked at me in the face on the stand and said, would it surprise you if I watched the video and he never once touched you? Thank God for Maria Parlade, because in her judgment, she said not once, but twice, but 3 times did he grab you. And that the videos absolutely did not show. She said that Mr. Grimes did not accurately describe what was depicted in the videos.
You didn't fight back?
No.
Why not?
My child was there. My son.
That's when you should fight back.
Well,
What'd your attorney say?
yeah, she was just as frustrated at the time. I mean, that was with Patricia, but it just, even in trial, or in court, he would claim that he had a PhD level degree, and which was confusing because at that point you can't be a witness or an expert and be an attorney in the same. But he was claiming that he had this degree. I have yet once found a PhD level psychology degree or child degree that Mr. Grimes holds. I didn't see it on his judge application. I certainly haven't seen it on his website. I will stand corrected if he proves me wrong.
So getting back to your brain surgeon, soon-to-be ex-husband, he committed DV in front of your guys' son.
Correct.
So that's another charge. Do you know that? And how much of a brain surgeon is he to put hands on you?
Or a child. He did not. I called the police that time, and no, he's put hands on me and at the time my 10-year-old son, and that was when.
Have you taken any self-defense classes?
I haven't. Maybe I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you own a weapon?
I'd rather not say.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a CCW?
I should.
We'll talk after the
Sounds
show.
good. Sounds
I
good.
think all women should, man, woman, don't matter. If you're in a domestic violence situation, I think you should be able to defend yourself. And you should, and if the DV is done in front of your child, then you should show your child that mommy's going to fight back and going to kick some ass, and mommy's not going to take this crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you should go, and if you don't know how to fight, you should go for the weak points, like the eyes, or use things that you don't normally would use in a fight, like your mouth, and bite the crap out of somebody, and do stuff like that, or just bite the ears off. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, I mean, if I was put in that
survival.
spot, I was able to get my son out of harm's way.
Were you in a hospital or?
No. I mean, at the time, the first time that he injured me, he shoved me so hard that I ended up falling on dollies and ladders in the garage, and I begged to go to the hospital. But at the time he was the neurosurgeon there, he was, who's gonna believe me?
What hospital did he serve in?
He was at Mountain View at the Valley Health System.
Did you report this to them, to his supervisors?
No. At that time,
you could have done that as well.
I ended up going to a friend and begging to get an x-ray. He broke my wrist.
Broke your wrist. And you have done nothing to retaliate against him?
I got out of it. I left.
Okay. You have never struck him back?
Never.
You have his address?
No, he's homeless. He's homeless. He's the homeless brain surgeon in Florida.
Okay, so he's claiming broke, homeless, all this. He can't pay. He doesn't have no money. Can't pay child support. Blah blah blah. So is Melvin Grimes' bills getting paid?
Well, he filed an appeal. So
No,
I mean, how many?
Trying to get her to pay his bill.
How many attorneys would work for free on an?
I would say that he's probably getting paid.
I have a feeling he probably is.
Yes. Yeah. Grimes is all about the money. That's why they call him greasy.
And if you do a quick Google, you'll see that Scott is opening up a new minimally invasive spine surgery center in
Scott,
and so he
the homeless guy
in Florida,
the homeless,
the brain surgery.
The FDF that he filed a couple weeks ago didn't really include that, but he.
And when was the last time you saw his son?
Oh my goodness. Oh, New Year's Eve when he took him. When I had to drive. He abducted him and drove to Arizona. So New Year's Eve
Did he get charged for that?
No.
Why not?
Because we have the hearing. We were supposed to have a hearing, but I don't know what's going on with it. But
charge him with kidnapping, get the FBI involved.
I wish. No.
But that's what your next hearing is about, isn't it? About that part.
I believe so. I also know, like I said, in the decision she wrote, she buttoned it up and left no ambiguity for what the rules were.
How did you get your son back from Florida? Is that what he
from
took
Arizona?
Oh,
I drove.
You drove there
through the night to Scottsdale.
You took your son, and there was no law enforcement there. He just handed him over to you. Well, then why did he take him in the first place?
To hurt me. To manipulate, any chance that he can get to first phone call when he's on the FaceTime with Asa is, where are you? Where are you? And he consistently, it even says in the decision for custody, it's minimally about Asa. He purely wants to just retaliate against me, I believe.
And how long this has been going on?
Over 2 years.
Do you have a restraining order?
I did. So in the beginning, right when we were first splitting up, when I wouldn't reconcile with them, he filed a TPO against me.
Against you?
Oh my gosh.
And he...
So to keep him away so he won't beat you.
In the middle of the night, 10 o'clock at night, I was escorted out of my house by the police, given 15 minutes with my son. Dr. Glickman left me with negative $10 in the bank and homeless, and left his child homeless. I will say that Judge Hardcastle was livid. It didn't.
First name?
Scott. So through that, I filed a TPO. His was thrown out. Judge Hardcastle, Kathy Hardcastle, she was amazing. She saw through it. She was livid that somebody would use a TPO to try to gain resources, not against a person. So far, the truth has really prevailed. I tell everybody,
Good.
That as long as you've got the truth on your side and you get to tell the truth, it's really easy.
Well, and sounds like you've had good judges.
I have.
And Mari is awesome. I think she's fair. And now your attorney, you've got Tim, and of course, we think he's great. So hopefully that will help get some of this other stuff resolved. But it's amazing that these people get away with not having to pay, claiming they make nothing, but then, they have positions like what your ex-husband or soon-to-be ex-husband.
He makes, somebody check this out. He makes between $521,901 to $877,101. But he's homeless, right? Homeless. He makes almost $1 million a year.
And that's according to what?
That's according to ChatGPT. And he has oh my God, he's got so many degrees. he's got. You don't all of a sudden wake up one day and become a neurosurgeon. You got to go through all this college and all this education. Ain't nobody going, oh, who the hell believes this guy's homeless in Florida?
As a veteran, I think you'll appreciate this, because whenever we would go out to dinner, Scott would say, I've got dinner, let whoever pay for it. It's a tax write-off. And he would always say that. Turns out that I started getting notices that he owes Dr. Glickman for not making any money. Has not paid or filed his taxes since 2019, and owes $2.6 million.
Your ex?
In back taxes.
Oh my gosh. He hasn't filed since 2019.
Which is one of the, during the trial, one of the financial things. I think that, Patricia failed to get in was that, he claimed that I owed half this tax that she never got in, that the taxes were never filed. You can't have a debt if you never filed them. And he owes, before me, owes taxes. Right. So I don't know how plus he's over the federal threshold for child support. The DA did open a case, thank goodness. So hopefully they will be contacting him soon.
You want to know his Florida mailing address?
Which one?
It's 42 Business Center Drive, Unit 310 in Miramar Beach, Florida, 32550.
He claims that so he has himself as a co-founder of this new endeavor practice he's opening up, and the founder is a doctor that he works with, Dr. Aaron Creek, and he's an orthopedic surgeon in Florida. In court, Scott testified that Dr. Creek was having issues getting hospital privileges, and that is the reason why he wasn't making any money. But funny enough, Dr. Creek is on all of the LLC paperwork and the business findings for this new practice. So
look how fast I found out all that information.
I know.
I'm just sitting here, minding my own business.
Do you think that there were accounts that he's hiding, assets that he's been hiding that?
Absolutely. I mean, I found cryptocurrency that the court didn't know about until we found. So yeah, I think, and his family is well off, and I think his father is floating the bills and paying Attorney Grimes. But, again, like I said, when you have the truth, it really helps. So I have confidence in Tim, and I have all the confidence in Judge Parlate. I'm really grateful that this is her first year, correct? Or first?
She won. She ran in the 22 cycle.
Gosh, time goes fast.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's been on the bench a couple of years now.
She's phenomenal.
What advice would you give other litigants that are in similar situations as yourself?
Talk. Ask people who they recommend. Reach out. I'm a loudmouth. When I felt like I was being bullied and drowning in the court system, I look for the helpers. You have to look for the good people that are in this town, and they exist, that want to make it better, that want to fight against some of these bad practices, and the people that want to raise the bar. And it starts at organizations like this that weed out the bad, that shed light on the negative, and we have to do better. This, as a mandatory reporter, as an adoptive parent and foster parent, some of the practices I've seen in family court are almost child abuse. It's not okay what we put these kids through. And if the goal is to truly put the kids first, then we have to do better. We have to have better people that are doing it. And thank you for finding them. Absolutely.
Do you have anything else to say that we haven't covered?
The only other thing I think that brings to light is through this and being, I feel like, abused through the court system, there's been court advocates, if you will. They're hired and they're paid very, very well. And one of them being Dr. Kathleen Berquist. I think she's a danger to Clark County, to be blunt. She was paid and had to return quite a bit of money because she couldn't fulfill her duty, and she couldn't get a comprehensive report in. I believe that it was described as horrendous, and none of it was really usable. And it's a money making,
And she wants to run for something?
I saw that. When I Googled to figure out what her exact job title is, which I never did find it. She's Dr. Kathleen Berkowitz. She's a clinical psychologist, and an attorney.
And she wants to run for something.
I believe. And I can't advocate enough against that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see who files and
we have positions here in Clark County that are parent coordinators is what they like to call them. I did not end up having to use one, but when I thought I was going to have to and did the research and asked attorneys who they would use, I believe there are about 3 in town. They are astronomically expensive. They are normally attorneys, and I didn't hear one positive thing about any of them. And these are the people that are coordinating the families and reporting back to the judge their opinions. And not one professional I could find in family court had one positive thing to say.
Is there any kind of oversight, a person or committee that oversees these people and looks at what they're doing and monitors their performance?
I don't know. I don't think so. And, if I didn't even know that they existed, we need more of those professionals. We need that here. The fact that it's such a small pool of them, it's a need. And I didn't even know it was a resource that we had. But we need qualified and people that are in it for the right reasons. Family court is not, it should not be where you get rich. It should be a service job where you are focused on families. And I think that there are some people that have gotten away from that and a little cloudy.
Ms. Phillips, do you have anything else for Ms. Glickman?
Not right now.
Thank you.
All right, Nikki, you have a case coming up? Court case coming up?
We'll find out. I'll get you all the details. It's kind of a moving roller coaster, but.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
A lot of people won't.
Mark is going to zoom in on you, and you have the final say. Maybe if you want to reach out to other litigants in your shoes or what have you.
I would just say that, Veterans in Politics is doing great work. And I think that it starts locally, and you might not need to be in family court now, but paying attention to who you're voting for and getting active and opening your eyes to what is going on, you might end up here. I didn't plan on it. And I think that we just need to have the qualified, good people we can trust. And like I said, thank you for putting people in there that I can finally say, you know what, I'll let the judge decide. So I feel confident, and I'm grateful for your organization and weeding out the bad.
Well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Folks, that's Nicole Glickman, and sharing her family court experience with you, and hopefully, it's informative, and with her experience, you'll make sure that you don't do that and file bar complaints against attorneys that are screwing up. File fee disputes against attorneys that are overcharging. If somebody put their hands on you, make sure you get a police report or a hitman or a police report. And we don't advocate a hitman. We just advocate the police report. But make sure you protect yourself. And you ladies out there, take some self-defense courses, because it's easier than you think to get away from a person that's twice your size that's trying to do harm to you. And if you don't take any self-defense courses, take their eyes out, bite the crap out of them, do something, get an object and put it right in their throat. And I'm just telling you this so you can save your life, because there's way too many times I pick up breaking news or I pick up the RJ and I see murder, suicide, or innocent woman or a child gets killed by the hands of their spouse or their significant other or their parent or their brother, whatever the case might be. So you really do need to pay attention to your surroundings and make sure that you know how to protect yourself. And I'm telling you this because I'm telling you this from the heart, and I'm telling you this because I'm a Marine, and I'm just telling you this because I'm a father, and I'm telling you this just because you just need to protect yourself. Don't let nobody get away with kicking your ass. That's for sure. Because if they do it one time, they sure as shit will do it again. And it'd be a repeat cycle until you're dead or end up in a hospital. So this is some serious stuff. And I said hitman as a joke, but sometimes that's what you probably need. But anyways, I didn't say that. This is Steve Sanson, Stephanie Phillips of Veterans in Politics. Until next time.